welcome to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is Thursday, May 14th, 2026. We're going to take your calls, 888-658-0234. It is officially graduation season. If you know a student graduating from Rider University, you can see them get their diploma live here on ONNJ. You can see the Rider University graduate and doctoral ceremony. It's going to be live this Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Then stick around because you can see the Rider University undergraduate ceremony live also Saturday, but that'll be at 2 p.m. Watch ONNJ on Roku or get the News On or Local Now app. And of course, you could always catch us live at ONNJ.com. Now, our good friend, meteorologist Mike Favetta, already with his degrees in hand. He has a forecast near you. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. I'm like so excited for them because the weather is looking spectacular on Saturday. And it's important when you have, dressed in the cap and gown, all the regalia, and of course you have the sun shining at your back for those photos. Today, though, not so much sunshine. Starting off our morning very cloudy with some showers around from the overnight lingering into this morning. A lot of this wet weather will be present even through this afternoon as some more rain works its way up the coast. It's that system that's stuck and will provide more showers into the end of the day. There's that low kind of parked over New Jersey through this afternoon, spinning him around some more rains into tomorrow even. And your Friday, while not pouring rain, will likely have some spotty sprinkles in between those clouds. Have to wait till tomorrow night to see the clear sky finally break through. And there's our gorgeous weather on Saturday, looking beautiful with a nice warm up ahead. Sunday may have some extra clouds and maybe a quick passing sprinkle. Not to worry though, because I think overall it'll still be just a cool, cloudy period for today and tomorrow. Very similar weather to yesterday. The forecast, that is, yesterday was very dry and sunny. But again, with those clouds that are sticking around into the first part of Friday, we'll see the clouds eventually clear out for Saturday. Again, not too worried about this chance of rain on Sunday. It's really just some extra clouds, maybe a quick passing sprinkle, but the heat will be on for Monday and Tuesday as that high builds in and temperatures really spike well into above average territory, even as we head into Wednesday timeframe, with those highs in the 90s for the good part of next week. Beyond that, it's pretty quiet, even for the rest of the weekend, with a lot of the weather across the Midwest rather dry, even out west, staying sunny there for you in California. We'll take another check of your forecast, Ken, coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Mike. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate it. We're like desperately searching for our traffic cam here. We're like, oh, Mike's done. Mike's been standing there for a minute. Thank you, sir. 59 degrees, a little milder at least. That's good news. That's in northern New Jersey. It's 53 still in Trenton, and in California, 64 in Los Angeles and also in San Diego. Terms of traffic to tell you about right now. We have a crash reported on the Garden State Parkway. This is southbound north of exit 143C, and that is in Irvington. It says all lanes are open, but there is a little bit of traffic as people pass that naturally. Oh, look at that. Pam with her magical fingers found it because she can. Pam is like the mom who you say, I can't find my socks. And she's like, you mean these socks? That's what Pam is, just so that you all know. Need Pam. Everyone needs a Pam in their lives. And also in terms of Hudson River crossings right now, we check out the Holland Tunnel. Holland Tunnel Route 139 is actually moving better than normal at this hour. Normally it's bumper to bumper, but it's just, you can see, well, the right lane is at least getting by. The middle lane's not so much, but that is the approach to the Holland Tunnel. The Lincoln Tunnel is much better, only about 20 minutes in via the Helix. And your GWB upper and lower levels 80-95 approach, it is heavy. And this is always the case on Thursdays, we notice. Very, very heavy at this hour, but it is crawling in. In terms of traffic in Los Angeles right now, we have a collision reported Antelope Valley, East Avenue South at 100th Street East. There's also a crash that just happened in Newhall at the Old Road at Halsey Canyon Road. And we have let's see, where was the other accident? No, that's it. Good. That's good. We only have the two. And that's what's happening right now in terms of traffic. It's 5 minutes past the hour. President Trump kicked off a summit with Chinese leader Xi Jinping earlier today, because remember, they're 12 hours ahead of us, that is expected to be long on pageantry and symbolism. In fact, they're having a state dinner right now in Beijing that is spectacular. We can only show you video from earlier when Trump arrived. So we have the video, I believe, of Trump arriving by plane when he landed in Beijing. Yes? Nope. Maybe we don't. Okay. Nonetheless, we have a lot of things that are going to be talked about, lots of pageantry. Why even talk about the pageantry if we can't show it? But the bottom line, there we go. We'll get some handshaking. All right. Cannons boomed, welcome salute for Trump, and a band played the Star Spangled Banner. Lots of primary school children wearing bright. This is when he took off, not landed, but that's okay. The president will leave China to return to the U.S. late tomorrow. It is hoped, fingers crossed, that maybe there could be some breakthroughs, like maybe China will agree to talk to the folks in Iran and say, knock it off. And if that happens, this thing's going to end right away in terms of Iran. 6 minutes past the hour. The Republican-led South Carolina State Senate Tuesday rejected a measure to redraw the state's congressional map despite pressure from President Trump to do so. A resolution that would have extended the state's current legislative session set to end this week to tackle redistricting fell short of the two-thirds support needed, with 5 Republicans voting against it. The vote shuts the door, at least for now, for Republicans to carve up the state's lone majority Democrat district, represented by longtime Democrat Congressman Jim Clyburn, ahead of the midterm elections. The Republicans who voted against the measure, 5 of them, believe that redistricting could have backfired for the GOP because they believe it would have pushed just enough Democrats into the adjacent Republican districts that are safe Republican districts, and that would make all those districts vulnerable. So that's an interesting thought pattern. It's like have one Democrat district and guaranteed all the other districts would be Republican, or play a little game and take a risk, and maybe you could lose all of those districts. So, do what they're on the ground. Maybe they know best. 7 minutes past the hour. Corpus Christi, Texas faces a growing water shortage, a severe one, during severe drought conditions. Mike has talked about the dry conditions in the south and southwest. City leaders warned water demand could soon exceed available supplies with a push of industrial expansion from local and state government. Industries and residents rely heavily, of course, on the city's recently shrinking reservoirs. Officials are drilling wells and discussing expensive desalination projects. They do have access, of course, to salt water. The Gulf of America, not that far if they had to pipe in some water. Political fighting inside city government complicated efforts solving the crisis. Federal prosecutors charged a Missouri man over bomb-making tutorial videos he posted online, allegedly. Investigators linked the videos to the deadly New Orleans attack. 14 people were killed during the Bourbon Street truck attack that happened New Year's Day 2025. Authorities say explosives matched instructions shown in the online tutorial, so they drew that connection. The suspect also allegedly possessed explosive devices without proper licensing and could face decades in prison if convicted. Speaking of dry weather down south, wildfires continue burning across parts of South Florida this week. The largest fire scorched more than 11,000 acres in Broward County. And I could tell you, being a part-time Broward County resident myself, when the wind is blowing from the west, the Everglades to the east, Fort Lauderdale, everything turns gray and you could smell it. You could smell it in your apartment, the air conditioning, it's everywhere. So right now, 11,000 acres are burning in western Broward and northwestern Miami-Dade counties. And that's significant because as the population keeps creeping west toward the Everglades, they're getting closer and closer, and a lot of the water use is up. Therefore, there's less groundwater there. I mean, it's all connected. As the population continues to explode in South Florida by 10,000 people a day in the statewide. It's an enormous number. Another wildfire burned near Florida City, that is Miami-Dade County. Firefighters from several departments are battling both dangerous blazes, and officials say no injuries have yet been reported. Waymo has recalled nearly 3,800 robo-taxis after software safety concerns. The company says crashes happened with chains, gates, and road barriers. Apparently, the Waymos can't read them. Waymo released a software update to fix the driving problem. Federal safety officials reviewed several incidents involving the self-driving vehicles, and Waymo says its robo-taxis still do perform safer than human drivers, at least drivers in some states. Canadian visits to American cities dropped sharply last year. Researchers found visits declined about 42% using cell phone location data. So they could tell if you have a Canadian cell phone, you're using it in South Florida, they can tell you're from Canada. And they're noticing they're not there this year. Political tensions and tariffs reportedly discouraged many Canadian travelers recently. I could just speak personally, anecdotally, having lived full-time in South Florida, in Hollywood, which is known as French Canada. They call it that. 5 months a year, you have all the French Canadians come down there. Most of the French Canadians that I know, and I know probably 30 or 40, so I can only speak anecdotally. It's not so much, they don't care about the politics. It's about the money and the tariffs and all their, it's going to cost them money in many cases to come in. And you can only come in for 29 days. Used to be you could stay the whole time. Now, after 29 days, they have to go back to Canada and come back. That's part of the problem. That has to be addressed. Anyway, Florida and South Carolina tourism spots saw the biggest visitor declines. Business travel to cities like Houston and San Fran also dropped, and some casinos are now offering special deals to draw back those Canadian tourists. A social media creator wants to revive bankrupt Spirit Airlines. Hunter Peterson compared the idea to the ownership structure of the Green Bay Packers. Supporters pledged over $337 million through a viral online campaign. Experts say buying an airline involves more than just the money. It's massive legal and financial hurdles beyond just that initial amount. Spirit Airlines shut down after years of debt and failed mergers. But of course, the nail in the coffin was the expense of jet fuel that shot through the roof because of the Iran crisis. Peterson, though, says a number of investors and unions are supporting the idea of a Spirit 2.0. Again, I speak from experience. I used to fly Spirit twice a month. They were great. All the jokes people made were referring to the old Spirit of 30 years ago, not the current one. It was all new planes, all new crew, good people, and just that their business model is a little tough. That's all. We'll see if it comes about. Nice to see them come back. It's coming up on 13 minutes past the hour. When we return, finding affordable childcare can feel nearly impossible. But there's a New Jersey organization trying to change all that. Plus, meteorologist Mike Favetta's forecast, and we're taking calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato live on the East and West Coast. Don't go away. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It's Thursday, live in New Jersey and New York. Now we welcome Los Angeles and San Diego and our new beta channel. We call it the beta channel. It's being tested in the state of Florida. 15 minutes past the hour. We'll take your calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta, in spite of the fact that it is a beta channel, we still do a non-beta forecast. I would call it an alpha forecast for Florida.
Okay, yeah, that'll work. I thought alpha was when you go back though. Like, doesn't it go
Okay,
alpha
like I
when it's
said,
like in
a
its
gamma.
infancy?
It's a gamma. It's a gamma forecast. That's what I meant to say.
Okay, okay, gotcha. I know it was a very fog. It's a foggy, blurry start this morning, right? We both had late nights, and here we are starting off the morning on a Thursday with plenty of cloud cover, so you don't get that refreshing feel when you step outside. No, in fact, it's gray. It's a little gloomy. Have some wet weather around, and there's more rain on the way with temperatures that feature a little bit of a cool down. It's not all going to be all that warm today or tomorrow, with high temperatures holding right around the 50s and 60s. That'll keep the pollen a little bit lower, so there is a saving grace with temperatures today, allowing for the potterer to probably go back down to the moderate level by the end of the day for trees and grasses. I mean, they were sky high yesterday with those winds that came in the afternoon. Well, today, with more of that wet weather sticking around, plan on some more rain through this afternoon. You can even see the forecast rain totals, although minimal, most of them allow for most of those showers will bring back the light drizzly spots even throughout the end of the day into tomorrow. A place where you can find some beautiful dry weather is all of the West Coast, even right down towards Southern California, where your weather today stays beautiful and dry and sunny, looking fantastic there. But the East Coast, we tap into that beautiful weather as soon as Saturday. Maybe even your Friday evening plans for tomorrow evening will be nice and dry. We'll tell you all about it coming up with a check of your forecast, Ken, in just a few minutes. Give you a sneak peek of that weekend weather.
Love it, sir. Thank you. By the way, this event that I went to last night, which
Hmm.
was for Dwell, New Jersey, at the beautiful Pendry Natara Resort in Peapack, which is just, originally coming from New York, I never heard of a Peapack. And I went to Peapack last night. Now I know, I think one of the housewives lives near there or something, right?
Uh-huh.
Whatever the adjacent towns are. And it is stunning to think that you're
Yeah,
that close to New York City in
right.
Peapack, and yet there's 500 acres of rolling hills. You think you're in the,
It's
the
gorgeous.
country.
Uh-huh.
Stunning. So thank you to Pendry Natarar. Thank you to my friend Steph Mann at Dwell, New Jersey. What a fantastic event. It was about housing in New Jersey and the housing market and people looking to buy houses and how it could budge
Right.
along. And so it was a lot accomplished, but there was a special person in the room whom I had never met face to face. We had our good friend Don Del Russo, fashionista, who
Oh,
was there.
wow. Look
She
at
came
that.
and I looked like, that's Don Del Russo. She goes, that's Ken Rosato. For the year that she's been coming on the show, we've never met face to face. So it was so nice to
Right.
actually press flesh and get to meet her. But so hello, shout out to Don Del Russo. I think she has a picture, a selfie. Got to get her to send it. We'll put it on the air. Anyway, but thank you, Mike. Appreciate it, sir.
You bet.
56 right now in northern New Jersey. It's 53 in Trenton, Los Angeles, 64, 65, San Diego. In terms of traffic, a bunch of things happening now on the turnpike. We have a crash on the turnpike northbound by the entrance ramp at interchange 3, Route 168, Runnymede. That's way down south, but partial ramp blockage there. That's causing some real problems. Then further north by exit 15 WI 280 Newark, there is a disabled tractor trailer, and that's causing what you're seeing on your screen right now. And that is on the Turnpike Western Spur southbound, south of interchange 15W again by 280 in Newark. It's blocking the right lane. It's causing about a 2-mile delay as a result. We have a crash on the Garden State Parkway now, and this is on by exit 143C southbound, north of exit 143C to be specific, which is Route 124 Irvington. All lanes are open, but people are going real slowly through there. An absolute mess already getting into the Holland Tunnel. If you look at 139 going from Route 78 right now, you'll see just jammed traffic. And this is unusual for this early an hour. Look at those absolute stopped cars. We're told it's 40 minutes in via 139 Holland Tunnel. And the Lincoln Tunnel, much better. It's only 25 minutes. And GWB upper and lower levels. The upper level will be on the right side of your screen, lower on the left. It's right now slow, but moving about 30 minutes in. To the West Coast, just a couple of incidents to tell you about. We have a report of a fire, car fire. It's in South LA at the 710, pardon me, at the 710 and the 405. Hit and run, no injuries, though. That's the good news. Baldwin Park by State Route 60 and Gary Avenue. I don't know how you have a hit and run with no injuries, but that's what they say. Maybe they mean the car was a hit and run. It doesn't have to be a person. And then we have two collisions, one in Antelope Valley at East Avenue South and 100th Street East, and then a traffic collision with unknown injuries on the old road at Hasley Canyon Road. That's also in Newhall. California. So there you have it. It is 20 minutes past the hour. Finding affordable childcare feels impossible, and the issue could impact New Jersey's future economy. Start Strong New Jersey, or Start Strong NJ, is pushing for major policy changes to make high quality childcare more accessible. Sharon Levine is the campaign director for Start Strong NJ. Good morning, Sharon. Good to have you on.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and talk about childcare, which affects so many families.
It affects anybody who has a child, clearly, and in some capacity, unless you have that the multi generational family situation, or a grandma or an aunt or an uncle living nearby who can care for your child. It's really nightmarish. I have a lot of relatives going through this right now, so I'm so glad you're on. You talk about childcare being viewed, or should be viewed, as essential economic infrastructure, which is thoroughly illogical. Tell everybody what you mean by that.
Absolutely. So, childcare enables parents to work. Every year, New Jersey loses $5 billion in lost jobs, reduced business productivity, lost tax revenue that New Jersey needs for important services. And childcare enables hardworking families to get to work. This is a public service that we really need. We need policymakers to fund and recognize the importance of, and really take action on.
Yeah, and if you think about it, we sort of have funded childcare now. It's called school, but it's only for a certain age and up. Now, granted, they get an education as well. 3-year-olds and 2-year-olds don't necessarily get educated because of the situation. But so the idea of people saying, why should we pay for your child? Well, you do it with school now. And it just makes sense, because how is it? Do you want a parent not to be contributing to society and working and earning and paying taxes? So it doesn't make any sense. It's an illogical argument not to have this. How difficult has it become, though, for families fighting that uphill battle? And what are some of the biggest challenges that they're telling you that they are currently facing? Is it just money, or is it also finding the good quality person?
That's the perfect question, Ken. It is getting incredibly difficult. There was a recent Rutgers Eagleton poll that shows that families are truly living this. These are not just numbers. Nearly 7 out of 10 voters say that it's difficult to find affordable childcare. And that's really what Start Strong New Jersey is all about. We are a statewide advocacy campaign made up of families, early childhood educators, and business, all coming together
All right.
unite.
We're having a little
Sorry.
glitch with your. We're having a little glitch with your signal. I think we got it back now. That's good. So we caught up until you said family and educators, then it cut off. But
Yes,
then we.
Start Strong New Jersey is a statewide advocacy campaign. We are made up of families, early childhood educators, and business, all united behind three principles: that childcare must be affordable, that we have to compensate early childhood educators as the professionals they are, and we have to fund and recognize that childcare is economic infrastructure, and we must treat it that way.
100%. And by the way, I also read studies years ago about getting children into childcare, getting them away from the home structure where they're all the time, actually makes it a much better buffer for the child once they get into school years, once they get into preschool and whatnot, because now they're used to being away from mom constantly, et cetera, on a daily basis. So that's actually better for the emotional development of the child. A lot of parents feel like they are spending a second mortgage on childcare. My niece, I have a little niece who with childcare, I mean, the bill is unbelievable. Why has the cost gotten so high?
Absolutely. And Ken, and so just to get back to your other point, my son went to childcare. And when we went to our first parent teacher conference in kindergarten, his teacher said to me, where did he go before he got to kindergarten? The foundation that he had was so strong. And that's because the childcare center that he attended taught him so much. That time before leading up to elementary school, children's brains are developing so fast. And the early childhood educators, this isn't babysitting, right? These childcare centers are truly educating our youngest children, and so it's just an incredible
Yep.
foundation.
Yeah, we're having some glitches with the signal, but we caught you saying incredible foundation, and I agree with you. All the studies show if you get a child reading by 3, that it changes the whole trajectory of their learning experience as opposed to even waiting that extra year because of the development and of the brain, right? And the way the brain is wired by that point. You got to get the child reading by 3 no matter what. And the problem is, though, many of the educators in childcare today are underpaid in spite of the expenses. So, how important is it to support that workforce as well?
It is absolutely imperative that we support and compensate early childhood educators as the professionals that they are, right? If we don't do that, then we jeopardize the workforce and they will leave for other fields. And we really need them in the classroom doing this incredibly hard work and helping our youngest students at a time in their life where they are just absorbing so much and their brains are growing the fastest.
So now talk about how you're so good at this, and you are, I can tell. You worked in policy and advocacy for a lot of years. So give us a little bit of your background too, so people know, and then what made this issue something that you wanted to take on so personally?
Thank you, Ken. Yes, so I was previously at the ARC of New Jersey, a statewide advocacy organization advocating on behalf of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and their families. And so I felt in that role I was able to do a lot of great work. And childcare to me is a very similar field, right? We're helping families who are struggling to make ends meet, who are struggling to get by, hardworking families that are doing everything that they can. And I felt that this was a really great role for me to take on. There's a lot of wonderful momentum. We launched our Start Strong New Jersey blueprint in March. There's a lot happening, and we're really eager to work with the new governor and her administration to get this moving forward.
So where can people go to find out more about Start Strong New Jersey and the work that the coalition is doing, and maybe get behind you guys and write to the legislators and say, hey, we need to support this?
Yes, startstrongnewjersey.org. We would really encourage families to go there, read our blueprint, add their voice. We know families out there are living this, and adding your voice and your story to our experience will only make our advocacy stronger.
Amen. Sharon Levine, campaign director for Start Strong New Jersey. Thank you for what you are doing. And thank
Thank
you
you,
for coming
Ken.
on this morning. You bet. You are providing a voice for so many people, so many young couples, especially who desperately need your help. So we appreciate you speaking for them, Sharon. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You
You
too.
bet. Thanks. It is 28 minutes past the hour. When we come back, what's the future of New Jersey's life sciences industry? The owner editor of Binge, our good friend Tom Bergeron, is going to be with us to talk about that. He has some cool stories for us. And the phone lines are open 888-658-0234. Plus, meteorologist Mike Favetta with the forecast near you. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. We're back in 2. morning. It's 30 minutes past the hour, Thursday, May 14th, 2026. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato, live on the East Coast and the West Coast. Officially graduation season. If you know a student graduating from Rider University, you could see them get their diploma live at ONNJ. You can see the Rider University graduate and doctoral ceremony. Those are the smarties. Live Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. And then you can see the Rider University undergrad ceremony live Saturday at 2 p.m. Watch ONNJ on Roku or get the news on or local now apps. And of course, you can always catch us live at onnj.com at the main website. Now, our good friend meteorologist Mike Favetta has the forecast near you. Mike, all those doctoral students, all the fancy schmancies with the hoods, all showing off.
Yep.
Meanwhile, me, I'm singing my ABCs sitting in the seat. Now
But they're
I
going to have a
know
little
my.
bit of a breeze, a little bit of a breeze by Saturday afternoon. So,
It's gonna be
they'll be
warm, huh?
singing in the breezes. Yeah, it'll be warm. You'll see uh, oh man, what are they called again? The hoods coming down. Then maybe the honor cords. Yeah, I remember all these things blowing around. Well, with all of the rain that's forecast for today and tomorrow, it's not a substantial amount of rain, just these light drizzly spots that'll take over each and every afternoon today and tomorrow, giving us kind of that damp pattern for today and for the end of the afternoon tomorrow. And then we finally clear out as this whole system pushes east, allowing for this lovely ridge to develop and that warmer weather, these shades of orange and yellow, to take over across New Jersey by tomorrow afternoon. Out west, it stayed dry. It's so dry, in fact, that there are some fire weather warnings out west as that heat allows for temperatures to spike into the low 100s. Plenty of clear sky right down toward the coast, even that marine layer being pushed out by those breezes from the north. And so that dry wind takes over, allowing for plenty of beautiful weather out across Southern California into LA and San Diego. Back here closer to home, it's a very different story. Lots of dampness, lots of wet weather, cloudy skies as the system kind of parks itself over New Jersey and gradually meanders its way eastward. So that means that we'll likely see those clouds and showers linger throughout the day tomorrow. Then as we get into Saturday morning, nice and clear sky takes over. Sunday could have a mix of sun and clouds, maybe a quick passing sprinkle chance, but it's all about the heat that will bring back 90-degree temperatures as soon as Monday, and that could last into Wednesday as some more storms develop in the Midwest, since this is kind of the peak of severe weather season there. We'll tell you more about the next week and the warm-up that's expected beyond, coming up with the climate forecast, the 2-week outlook. That's in just a few minutes, Ken.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And it is now 33 minutes past the hour in terms of temperatures. 55 degrees northern New Jersey, 53 in Trenton. It's 50 in Cape May and 52 degrees in Vineland. Issues to tell you about now on 295. We have a crash northbound south of exit 62, Olden Avenue, Hamilton Township. Left lane of 3 lanes closed there. We do have that. You can see the left lane. Oh, now, of course, Pam says, yeah, now they're moving, Ken. 2 minutes ago, they were stopped. So hopefully they cleared that up. That would be good. We have issues also to tell you about on the Turnpike. There's a crash down south a little bit. Northbound entrance ramp at interchange 3, which is Route 168 in Runnymede, and the right shoulder is blocked. There's just a minor accident. All vehicles off to the right shoulder there that were involved in the incident. The incident, we call it. We have a crash now in the Garden State Parkway southbound, south of exit 143C, which is Route 124 Irvington, with the right lane blocked. I believe we do have a camera shot of that. Garden State Parkway, Pat? Yes, no? Yeah, it was 143. It was 142.8 exit 142 tower. It's all right. If we don't have it, don't worry about it. Oh, there it is. You see there you go. See, I lie to you not, Pamela. And then and then we have on the Turnpike, we have another issue, a disabled tractor trailer. Western Spur southbound south of interchange 15W. That's by 280 in Newark. The right lane is blocked in that case. Back to the Garden State. This one is, let's see, this is down in Irvington Township. We have a crash as well in the Garden State Parkway, and your Hudson River crossings now 139, making your way from 78 into the Holland Tunnel is bumper to bumper. It's been a mess there for a while. 40 minutes in, and you could see that right there, those stopped cars. Sorry about that, folks. The approach to the Lincoln Tunnel, much better, only 20 minutes in, and the GWB 8095 approach, upper level will be on the right side of the screen, lower on the left. It's about 20 to 25 minutes in. To the West Coast, just a few things to tell you about. We have report of a fire in Altadena on the 5 at Osborne Street. There's a collision to tell you about in central LA at the 110 in Figueroa. And we have a hit and run, no injuries though, Baldwin Park, Route 60 at Gary Avenue. It is now 35 minutes past the hour. Tom Bergeron is tracking some of the biggest conversations shaping New Jersey right now. From the future of the state's life sciences industry and workforce pipeline to the push to streamline government and make New Jersey more affordable in which to do business. Tom is the owner and editor of Binge. He's been following how business, education, and policy leaders are trying to position the state for long-term growth. We say good morning to our good friend, Tom.
Ken, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on. You were all excited about this BioNJ Bio Partnering Conference this year. Tell us about the turnout and what that was about.
So, look, as you can imagine, I go to hundreds of events every year, it seems like. There's one every day we have a conference. I really enjoy the Bio Partnering event put on by BioNJ. Look, you have the speeches and you have the panels and you have the discussion about the industry. But what's really unique about this is you have these partnering meetings. You have some of the biggest bio companies in the world, Pfizer and Merck, in places like the New Jersey AI Hub, having individual meetings with individual companies. So you and I can come up with a product or a medicine, and we could be at step one of a 100-step program, and we could get a private meeting with a company like this, or a semi-private meeting where we sit down and say, here's what we got. What do you think? How can we work with you? How can you work with us? It really is the potential that the next great bio product was created at this event is real. It's good conversations to have, and it's good for the industry, and it's good for the state of New Jersey, because you see there's all different things from the Coriell Institute, which you see here.
Did we just lose Tom? We're having glitches this morning. We have gremlins this morning, I think. So Tom was talking about this conference. We'll get Tom back, I'm sure. He was talking about this bio conference, BioNJ Bio Partnering Conference. And for those who are just catching what he was talking about, until we get Tom back on, we'll reconnect Tom. So it got together people in the field, people in sciences, and people who are business people. Remember, Tom's publication, which is Binge, is Business New Jersey. So Tom's expertise is here. It is, Tom. So Tom, you were talking about about that conference. By the way you were describing it, it sounds kind of like what Trump is doing in a much smaller way, obviously, but what Trump is doing right now in China. He brought all the major corporate business leaders with him to China, put them all together in a room, and let them all talk with the politicos, right? So it's kind of that on a New Jersey basis. Am I wrong?
To use it as the most simplistic term, it's speed dating for life science startups.
Perfect.
In every facet that you can imagine.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you got that front row seat. What was it like? The energy in the room, the vibe, and what did you think it was received like?
Now, listen, anytime you have so many companies that can do such good things or want to do such good things, it's nice to be in an environment where everybody's working together as opposed to trying to one-up each other. And really, that's what the bio partnering event brings out.
What do you think is driving the optimism right now? Because there's really a sense of ambition around that sector.
It's a sense of ambition around the state. I think when you get a new administration, there's new energy and there's new hope. It's not just the life science sector. You're seeing that in all different places.
Yeah, there are places like the Helix in New Brunswick now, programs. There's the Evergreen Innovation Fund when it comes to keeping innovation startups here in New Jersey. How is that all having an impact?
It's just a matter of bringing the voices together. And I think what New Jersey's always been the medicine chest of the world, right? We know that. But I think there's a concerted effort to how do we combine with Boston? How do we combine with the Triangle in North Carolina? How do we with Austin, Texas, with Silicon Valley? How do we bring more partners, investors, entrepreneurs, thought leaders together to create a bigger, stronger ecosystem?
I'll tell you how. We're Jersey. We could go and have a little conversation with them. If you know what I'm talking about. Hey, Triangle, go back to a square. Sorry, it's just me. At the same time, though, Tom, there are concerns about funding cuts and, of course, economic uncertainty, everything that's happening in the Middle East right now. What are the challenges that people in the industry are most worried about today?
So the biggest concern you mentioned of places around the world is the international component. If there was one thing that was lower at the Bio Partner event, they draw from 24 states around the country, and they usually draw from 24 countries. And you still had Bio Quebec, you still had representatives from Israel, but the larger international component that would normally be at an event like this, that for life sciences from around the globe, was a little more hesitant, was a little bit more absent. And I think that's just a reflection of the sign of the times.
Yeah, there seems to be a major connection to shifting gears a little bit in the Sherrill administration with the state's push to better connect education and workforce development, right?
Yeah, I was at an event Friday, the Save Time and Money Tour, which is a wonderful idea that every administration comes in. But, one of the keys that came out on Friday was a lot about, I don't want to say higher ed, I just want to say education. There was a discussion about a workforce pipeline for all sectors. Certainly manufacturing was a big one that they always talk about, but going down as low as the middle schools and making sure the middle schools are understanding career paths, making sure high schools, making sure vocational schools, making sure the 2-year programs are feeding the 4-year programs, and that everyone's working together. And you have a nice catch here with the Lieutenant Governor Dale Caldwell. His previous role was president at Centenary, which I think a lot of people know. But before that, he ran the Rothman Entrepreneurship Center at FDU. So he's all about education, entrepreneurship, workforce development. And that was a real key takeaway from the event last Friday in Morris County about how do we align all of this to create a workforce for the future.
We're down to that last minute, of course, and just in that last minute, Tom, one thing that stood out in your reporting was the conversation about keeping more students in New Jersey after high school. That is a big issue economically, isn't it?
100%. I mean, we are a number one out-migration state as far as that goes. And listen, the other states know the Jersey kids are smart and they'll stay for 4 years and they'll pass their classes and they'll pay the tuition. So there's heavy emphasis to recruit from New Jersey. I know that firsthand from my children. And that's something that New Jersey really needs to address.
Amen to that. The website is binge.com, binje.com. The owner, editor, New Jersey's own Tom Bergeron. Tom, we love having you on every week, my friend. How's the success going? I hope you got those numbers up to 1 trillion a day.
We're all good. We're all good, growing strong, but we can always use one more reader.
Well, you got me. Now I'm going to tell my family in Westchester County, New York, they got to watch or check out Binge, binje.com. Tom, it's great to have you on again, my friend. Have a great day.
My pleasure.
You bet. It is 43 minutes past the hour. When we come back, the murder convictions for a disgraced South Carolina attorney have been thrown out due to a technicality. Alex Murdaugh will have a new trial. News Nation's Elizabeth Pran will join us to talk about that when we come back in 2. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. 45 minutes past the hour, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with a forecast in your city. And Mike, I know in the Northeast here, feeling a little sticky this morning.
Yeah, damp, kind of gray, almost like an October scene, right? It's cool. We have the clouds around, but there are some warmer, drier days ahead. Just have to make it through the rest of the day today and tomorrow. It's thanks to this low that's parked offshore that provides all of these clouds and sprinkles even throughout tomorrow afternoon. So today, what you see is what you get. You step outside, you see the cloud cover, you see the gray sky and a little light drizzle. However, by Saturday morning, all of that clears and we're back to a beautifully dry Saturday. Lots of clearing. I think by Sunday could have a chance of a sprinkle, and that's due to this warm front that moves in. But that warm front provides loads of heat for Monday and Tuesday, with temperatures soaring into the 90s and staying there for the better part of the week, even through the rest of May. Look at all of this orange and red, showing that most of the country, even here in New Jersey, will feature above average temperatures. Likely see a better chance of wetter than average weather as well into the end of the week. It's just the Pacific Northwest that stays a little bit drier. But we like the extra rain, especially down across the south and east where it's needed. Look at how dry it is with that severe and exceptional drought that's ongoing down across most of Florida and the Panhandle. It's also where the wildfires have been happening, so you could certainly use some wet weather there, Ken.
Got it. All right, Mike. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. 747 East Coast, 447 West. It's 61 degrees in northern New Jersey. It's 54 degrees in Trenton. Big disparity there in temperatures, I guess, depending on if there's sun peeking out or not. California, we have a Los Angeles temp 64, 64 also San Diego, and we do have issues on the roadways. Let's start with the Garden State Parkway. We have a crash now southbound, south of exit 143C, Route 124, Irvington, the right lane blocked. But Pam found this great shot of the issue that we're having on the Turnpike. This is a crash on the Turnpike northbound entrance ramp at interchange 3, 168 in Runnymede. The right shoulder blocked. Minor vehicle incident, but all vehicles off to a shoulder. You can see them coming out of the tolls there, all kind of jamming up, causing some issues right now. Not a major problem, but nonetheless something to point out to you. We have problems now in your approaches to the Hudson River, the Holland Tunnel approach right now. 139 off of 78 is bumper to bumper. It's been that way much of the morning. It's going to cost you 40 minutes in solidly. Look at that mess of traffic. How'd you like to deal with that if you had too much coffee and you don't know when the next bathroom break is? Sorry, I'm just saying this is what happens when you're 59. And then, sorry, just being honest. Over at the Lincoln Tunnel approach right now, you'll see the thing. Well, we don't have the camera shot, but I can tell you much better. It's only 25 minutes in the GWB upper and lower levels. 80-95, slow but moving. It's going to be about 30 minutes in from that point. To the West Coast we go. We have a collision, unknown injuries, East LA at the 10 and Rosemead Boulevard. Traffic collision also in Central LA at the 110 and Figueroa Street off-ramp. And another one, a collision in Newhall at the Old Road and Hasley Canyon Road. 7:49 is our time. East Coast, 449 West. The murder convictions for a disgraced South Carolina attorney have been thrown out due to a technicality. Alex Murdaugh will now have a new trial. Here to talk about it this morning is News Nation's Elizabeth Brown, a journalist, mom, a wife, host of the Raising America podcast. Elizabeth is seen every week at this time here on Mornings. We say good morning to Elizabeth.
You know, Ken, when I see the traffic images, and it's the Murdaugh family, right? A traffic jam is the Murdaugh family. There is a reason why there are docuseries and books and movies. I don't know your reaction to the Supreme Court decision, but if you know about Becky Hill, I think you sort of saw this coming. So for folks who are not familiar, Becky Hill was sort of a staple. And if you followed this case, then you read all of the local reports. And there was local reporting that she really wanted a lake house. And in order to get the lake house, she wanted to do a tell-all book. And in order to do a tell-all book, she wanted to have a guilty plea. Now, this is all local reporting. I mean, I wasn't on scene. We covered it. I covered it for In and Out for News Nation. So, I mean, I didn't talk to anyone who was saying that she was true. But this was all coming out of South Carolina. And so the Supreme Court made this unanimous decision yesterday, essentially, that she tampered with the case and that it was overturned. So I think right now there was a lot of panic that set in. I know people thought, wait, is this double jeopardy? And it's not. I mean, we can certainly, yes, there could be some type of a plea deal. He's behind bars for financial wrongdoings, if you will. That would be an understatement. But no, it is thrown out, and we can see this again. My question to you would be: is there the same appetite? Is there going to be any new evidence? Is the defense going to have any new tactics with the opportunity to stand trial again? What do you think, Ken?
Well, listen, I have 7 attorneys in my family, and every one of them said the same thing yesterday, that when you go back and when something like this is overturned, all the tricks up the sleeves of the defense are gone. There are no more surprises. This went on for months. So if there were any surprises to be had, believe me, they would have been exposed during those months. So now what does the defense have? The prosecutor now knows everything they have to do right, and they're going to do it again. And for another jury of his peers, of Alex Murdaugh's peers in South Carolina, to find so differently than the first would be likely unusual, especially when you have that power dynamic, a powerful, successful businessman attorney with a powerful family who is accused of, or in this case, convicted of the brutal murder of his wife and son. We're talking his wife was on the ground, and the accusation and the conviction is that he went up and he shot her in the back. This is the mother of your child. So we're not talking just like, oh, there's no evidence to put him there. It was like overwhelming. A lot of people looked at this and said, this is open and shut. I mean, if he didn't have the power he had, it wouldn't have gone on as long as it did.
Well, and you saw that with the jury. What was it, less than 3 hours? They were in and out. I mean, that is a blink of an eye. We say TV time. If I tell you you've got 7 minutes for a segment, you probably prepare for 10 days. That is the in and out of a deliberation room. And I really think the alibi issue, the alibi changing, there was really a lot of evidence there. And then they brought in some of the history of the house and the estate and what was happening within the family. And you can paint a picture. And a lot of that, some of it was not admissible, but a lot of it was admissible. And I think that like you said, they were in and out of that deliberation room. So the biggest issue going forward, what I've heard lawyers say is, well, okay, what is the state going to do? The district attorney said that they're going to go forward. But that is also a lot of taxpayer dollars. I mean, these things aren't cheap. So you have to sort of think about that as well going forward, and the time that it takes, the resources that it takes. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, because even if they just leave it alone, he's still going to serve 40 years, because of all the business convictions and whatnot. So it's not like he's getting out tomorrow. So even if he does get out when he's in his 80s or 90s, if he's still alive, okay, what's he going to do at that point? So, yeah, I mean, maybe if you analyze it, it might just make sense. Just leave it alone. And if there's any chance that he gets off on the business convictions, then maybe retry him at that point. That might be an option and could save people a lot of money. But this is, you look at this and you look at the family dynamic, and even listening to some of the jurors who talk about their interactions with I'm forgetting the clerk's name now. I'm looking
Becky Hill.
dressed.
Becky Hill.
Thank you for Rebecca.
Yep.
Becky Hill. She could anyone be that stupid as she didn't even, if you're going to try to do this to write a book and be successful, there are ways you could steer people and be a little more, intelligent. It doesn't sound like this woman's working with a full deck.
Well, and that the Supreme Court essentially said it was improper external influences. And when you say, and I think one of their words was aggressively tipping her fingers to on the scales of justice, if I'm not mistaken. And they were and this is what the Attorney General said, they were going to aggressively try to retry Alex Murdaugh. But she allegedly was whispering. She allegedly was also giving evidence and other items to journalists. I mean, there were a lot of allegations on this part for this woman and her very inappropriate behavior during the trial. And so, yes, I think that was shocking for a lot of folks, for someone who is an employee of the court to act so inappropriately. But I mean, there was rumors during the time of the trial, and then afterwards, it all started to come out, and she was charged and she got probation, which a lot of people were frustrated that she didn't have a more strict sentence. But a lot of attorneys said she didn't have any priors, and so it actually was an appropriate sentence. This was it was earlier this year that we watched it all sort of unfold, and then we waited for the Supreme Court in South Carolina, and they made their decision. This was all, as you mentioned, technicalities. There's no disputing the evidence of not only the financials but also the murder convictions, by the way, his youngest son and his wife. So it was all procedural. And that's also something to take into consideration.
And for anyone who didn't think at the moment that this woman was sentenced, when she was sentenced, she received that sentence
Oh.
and she was convicted. Anyone who didn't think that that would cause an overturn, you're crazy. I mean, you don't have to be a law student to figure that one out. You knew that was coming. So the idea of him being so overwhelmingly surprised, I was like, come on, you know, he's a lawyer. He knows. He's been around the block. He knew that that was going to happen. They were just counting down the days, and I think they're doing it now more for publicity and for trying to win over the public for a second trial. And you know that he's salivating at the possibility of trying to get the business convictions overturned and maybe dreaming of being out free. I don't see that happening. I don't know about you.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I think what they'll do is obviously they appealed in February. We heard from the Supreme Court. Now we're going to see the Attorney General try, you know, if he decides to have a retrial, and then are they going to try to get it moved? I mean, the procedure between now, if he does go back in the courtroom and have another trial, A, is it going to be in South Carolina? And B, how long until that happens? I mean, it could be such a long time.
That's right. All right. Well, I love talking about it. It feels like a court TV segment here, but I love it.
I love it. I love it.
And America needs to be, I applaud court TV because America needs education on the legal system. And it's good that we have a little of this all the time. Tell us what's coming up on this week's Raising America podcast.
All right, we're going back to the primary. So next week, we're seeing a number of states. So we are just going to be talking to more and more candidates across the country. So if you're looking to dig into some of these races, we've got Georgia coming up. We've got some other big ones. So stay tuned.
Awesome sauce. Love it. Journalist, mom, wife, good friend, host of the Raising America podcast, which you can find on YouTube. It is fantastic. News Nation's Elizabeth Pran. Thank you for coming on again.
Thanks, Ken.
You bet. See you next week. Coming up on 58 minutes past the hour. For those of you watching on LACA on the West Coast, stay tuned for your local news. If you're watching ONNJ, we're coming right back live with New Jersey news, opinion, weather, and traffic. Thank you for watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. Back in 2. Very good morning, 8 a.m. on Thursday, May 14th, 2026. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. It is officially graduation season. If you know a student graduating from Rider University, you can see them get their diploma live on ONNJ. You can see the Rider University graduate and doctoral ceremony live Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. Then you could see the Rider University undergraduate ceremony live Saturday at 2 p.m. So it'll be just a few hours later. You can watch ONNJ on Roku or get the News On or Local Now apps. And of course, you can also catch us at our main platform, ONNJ.com. Rain all day today, but nice this weekend for the graduation. Becoming steadier a little bit later in the day today. We're not talking about the graduation anymore. We're talking about today, Thursday, with a chance of some thunder. Highs today, low 60s. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with the full Garden State forecast. Mike, how are we doing in terms of water, groundwater overall? Have we gotten back a little bit with some of the dryness
No,
that we had?
we're still at a 1 to 2 inch rainfall deficit, especially across southern New Jersey. But today's rain is deceptive, Ken, because it's so light and spotty. You may not even need the umbrella for most of the afternoon. It's just that cloudy scene where it looks like it might rain. Then you run into a 5 minute shower and then it's done. So this is the type of wet weather that's around this morning, especially through the last few hours here. You see that radar sweep going around. Most of the rain moving eastward as a northwesterly breeze takes over. So we'll zoom in here to northeastern New Jersey up toward Bergen County, right down the Parkway. It's raining right now, but as that wet weather moves eastward, you can even see a little bit more wet weather taking over and moving across the Parkway down across southern New Jersey. As a northwesterly breeze works in today, it'll start to dry us out, but the clouds, they hang low and temperatures respond. We'll stay in the 50s and low 60s through this afternoon. So a much cooler feel, especially down the shore where that cold front has already started to make it feel a little bit cooler. Northwesterly winds tend to dry us out. And today it'll try to get rid of some of the rain, but it'll keep the clouds hanging low with temperatures that will feel cooler with that little bit of a 15-mile-per-hour breeze. And even the last few hours showing most of the rain came through last night. There's still some clouds and showers forecast for the rest of this afternoon in through this evening. Could even get a rumble of thunder down the shore as maybe a little break of sun tries to enhance some of that convection. And then tonight, it's cloudy still back in the 40s and 50s. Tomorrow, another gray day. Not a whole lot of rain, probably just clouds most of the day. And then a little peak of sun as the sun sets with a clearing that takes over for Saturday. A chilly, cool start in the 40s there in northern New Jersey up towards Sussex. Low 50s elsewhere, but look at this warm up. From 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., we jump into the 80s. That's a 30-degree jump in just that short amount of time, and it stays warm beyond that, especially for Sunday where highs could be topping 90 across some parts of the state. So a real warming trend with that lovely southwesterly breeze takes over into this weekend and lasts into next. We love to see these high temperatures, especially when it feels like summer around here. Finally, just in time for the last unofficial week of spring before Memorial Day next weekend.
Yeah, there's always the unofficial and the official. I want to meet the people
Right.
who came up with the unofficial and the people who came up with the official and put them in a room.
Galileo.
It would be, yeah, well, then that's like Trump and she. It's Galileo and the modern day meteorologist. That's what it's
Yeah.
about. Look at you, always quoting in Italian. All right. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you as always. He's like, stop it, Rosato. 58 degrees right now, northern New Jersey, 54 in Trenton. It's 52 degrees, though, down the Shore in Cape May, and 54 degrees in Vineland. And in terms of traffic, we have a few issues to tell you about. There is currently a crash. Do you want to do the Turnpike first or the Garden State, Pam? All right, let's go to the Turnpike. We have a disabled, and then in this case, it's on the Turnpike Inner Roadway northbound, north of interchange 14, Route 78 in Newark. All lanes are open. There's vehicle on the right shoulder, but it's causing about a mile and a half delay as a result. That our good friend Pam has that for us on the screen. Over to the Garden State Parkway, and this is an area that often gets traffic anyway, but now there's a crash on the GSP southbound. It's south of exit 143C, Route 124. That's in Irvington with the right lane blocked. That's causing about a 2-mile delay as well. You can see that's the traffic moving from the lower left to the upper right of your screen underneath by that tower cam. Your Hudson River crossing's an absolute mess right now in your approach to the Holland Tunnel. It's been that way. Actually, all week it's been really tough on the Holland, Route 139. Look at this mess of traffic. Don't know why this is suddenly the case, but that's going to cost you a solid 40 in. It's only 25 in at the Lincoln. And your GWB approaches upper and lower level 80-95 right now, moving pretty well. That's only going to be about 25 to 30 minutes. Upper levels on the right, lower on the left. 8:05 is our time, and we say congratulations to our own on New Jersey's Lisa Marie Falbo, who was honored last night at the 2026 Innovate 100 Awards as a community leader, and that she definitely is. The annual event is held at the State Theater in New Jersey and New Brunswick, celebrates innovators, entrepreneurs, and change makers making an impact across a wide range of industries throughout the state. And in a fun twist, during ONNJ's red carpet coverage, Lisa Marie, who was there conducting interviews with fellow honorees and attendees, suddenly found herself on the other side of the mic when a member of Witham, one of the nation's top advisory tax and accounting firms, turned the tables and interviewed her instead.
All right, so out of all the interviews you've ever done and all the questions you've ever asked, what question did you hope you could answer that you asked somebody and you said, God, I wish somebody would just ask me that?
That is such a good question. Can I hire you?
No.
Why?
Because I already work with Matt.
Well, okay, so we need to do the podcast and you have to host it.
I would be happy to do that.
Like, you need to do that.
No, I would totally do it.
You're
But
natural.
But now you didn't answer the question, though.
I don't, why this channel? I don't know.
No. How about the passion about why you started this and what the impact you hope to have on the state of New Jersey?
Oh, well, the state of New Jersey, we are a media desert. If you want to find out what's happening, you have to tune into channels based in New York or Philadelphia. So we fill such a need, especially for the cord cutters out there, because that's happening more and more every day, where we are that source. New Jersey news, talk, sports, entertainment, 24/7.
24/7?
24/7. Barely. I have 2 toddlers too.
So it's natural. You're just going to be up
Yeah,
anyway. You might as well work.
Lisa Marie is working at 24/7 is true. That is absolutely the case. It is a well-deserved honor for one of New Jersey's biggest champions of community storytelling and local media, and one of the nicest people you're ever going to meet, too, Lisa Marie. And I said Witham. It's apparently Whittam, not Witham. They don't pronounce the. It's Whittam. Excuse me. I've seen it spelled a million times. I didn't realize it's Whittam. By the way, we understand there was a big story here in New Jersey. 2 men charged trafficking. Get this. 260 pounds of methamphetamine. If you've ever watched the show Breaking Bad, that's a lot of meth. That's enough for like thousands of people. Federal prosecutors called it New Jersey's largest meth seizure ever. Authorities say the drugs traveled cross country inside a truck shipment. One suspect allegedly had ties to Mexico's powerful Sinaloa cartel. It really does feel like we're going back to Breaking Bad days. The drugs were reportedly worth about $500,000. $500,000. Want to make sure I had that right. Both suspects could face life if convicted in court. A whistleblower testified before a Senate committee on what appears to be a cover-up of the origins of COVID-19. The Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee heard testimony from longtime CIA employee James Erdman III yesterday on allegations there was a cover-up of the origins of the virus with roots that run deep in the federal government and intelligence community. In fact, interestingly enough, right after, this was kind of a surprise on the CIA, because this guy was called a whistleblower at the CIA, and the Senate called him in to testify. What happened an hour later? Apparently the honchos, the deep state at the CIA, got all pissy in their pants and went ahead and raided the office of Tulsi Gabbard and rifled through all of her paperwork. So, see, they did it, of course, when the boss was away, when President Trump was wheels up on his way to China. There is going to be a mess when the president comes home. There are going to be people at the CIA called in his office. See, the people at these intelligence agencies think they run the country and that the elected officials are just temporary. But the deep state, that's why they call that. They think that they're in charge and we're all a bunch of idiots, even though we're the ones paying them. But I think the people at the CIA, you're going to see about 100 heads roll. For you don't go to the person who is the coordinator of all the intelligence agencies, Tulsi Gabbard, when she's away with the president, and raid her office and go through her paperwork when the president signed an executive order to do this. It's going to be interesting. You have an inside. This is like a what do they call it? An internecine war going on. By the way, if you notice behind when they cut to the Senate panel, not one Democrat showed up, which is a shame because if the Democrats disagree with this, they should have shown up and cross-examined. Don't just give up. It's okay to disagree, but you should be there to cross-examine no matter what. This is about Dr. Anthony Fauci, by the way, and his role in examining the origins of COVID. Apparently, initially, if you recall, go back and look at the paperwork. It's online. The stories are online. I covered it when I was at ABC. He was talking, and by the way, I know Anthony Fauci personally because he went to my high school and I've interviewed him 100 times. Anthony Fauci originally said the origins could very well have been in a lab, and then a couple of days later changed it, said, oh, no, it was from a bat. It's from a bat. And anyone who then suggested looking into the possibility that it was from a lab, they were basically canceled. Why? Well, because he was funding gain of function research. Initially in the United States, got spanked for it. Then he went and associated with the Wuhan lab in China and was apparently using American taxpayer dollars to finance gain of function research, which leads to the spike protein research and the COVID vaccine, et cetera. And that's all connected. And he denies that, there's no evidence it was COVID research, but it was gain of function research at the Wuhan lab where they were studying COVID. And then there was a virus that came out of that area. Go figure it out. The disgraced South Carolina attorney convicted of killing his wife and son had his murder convictions overturned yesterday by the South Carolina State Supreme Court after it found the local county clerk had influenced the decision. 57-year-old Alex Murdaugh was serving 2 consecutive life sentences without parole for the 2021 murders of wife Maggie and their 22-year-old son Paul after a 6-week-long 2023 trial. The justices unanimously decided to overturn the conviction. Despite having the conviction tossed, though, in a new trial ordered, Murdaugh will not be allowed to walk free. He's also serving concurrent 40-year federal and 27-year state sentences for financial crimes for stealing from clients. Murdaugh's lawyers had appealed the murder convictions, arguing the trial was affected by County Clerk Becky Hill, who say that she tampered in the trial with the jury during Murdaugh's trial. So that it may or may not ever get back to court because he's already serving 40 years. And more than 1,700 people are trapped aboard a cruise ship docked in France after a 90-year-old passenger died from the suspected norovirus just days after a separate virus killed 3 and sickened a number of others on a different cruise. That's with the hantavirus. Passengers and crew traveling aboard, I should say, the Ambassador Cruise Line are being forced to remain on that ship after they arrived in the beautiful city of Bordeaux. We will keep you updated on that. And New Jersey lowered World Cup train ticket prices again this week. Round trip fares now cost $98. Remember, it was up to $150. The original ticket price sparked outlash from commuters, and Governor Sherrill thanked sponsors for helping to lower those ticket costs. A New Jersey Senate panel approved a driverless car pilot program. The proposal would allow testing autonomous vehicles for 3 years statewide. Lawmakers say the technology improved since earlier plans stalled during COVID. And a new AARP survey shows older New Jersey residents are feeling the financial pressure. Many residents over 45 are considering leaving the state. High property taxes remain a major concern for older homeowners. Many residents strongly support the state's Stay NJ tax relief program. The survey also found growing concerns about rising utility and grocery costs. AARP leaders say affordability is key to keeping seniors in New Jersey. And graduates at the University of Central Florida booed a speaker praising, I should say, artificial intelligence during commencement ceremonies. Just check out a few seconds of this speaker.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution. What happened? Okay, I struck a chord.
Duh. You're telling people who just spent $200,000 on a college education that basically it's for nothing and they're not going to get a job. I struck a chord. Videos from the graduation quickly spread across social media platforms. The speaker argued that AI could improve workplaces and future careers. I think not. 14 minutes past the hour. When we come back, there's a place in Jersey City where local people are on display in a huge way. We're going to talk about Mana Contemporary displaying wonderful art, and it's right here in Jersey City. Rain all day, becoming steadier later, but some spots may see none. We're going to talk with meteorologist Mike Favetta. We'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings at 8:17. I'm Ken Rosato. Meteorologist Mike Favetta says the rain's going to be happening, but some spots may not see any at all. So it's going to be a hit and miss thing in New Jersey.
It is going to be a hit and miss thing. Now, it's raining across some parts of New Jersey right now, but by this afternoon, and even in just the next few hours, most of the state just stays cloudy. And even with some fog developing down the shore, you see 7-mile visibility toward Atlantic City, 8-mile visibility for you a little further north on LBI. This is a little snapshot of the last few hours showing those showers moving eastward. So yes, if you're commuting into the city right now, you'll likely see some rain, and there's some little bit more rain working into the tail end of New Jersey, even across the state over the last few hours. But throughout the next 2 hours, the future radar showing some of these showers here across central New Jersey, exiting out across coastal Monmouth and Ocean County, and then a little further north up toward, Middlesex and Mercer County, these showers working their way eastward. So plan on a little bit of that wet weather, but even, the future radar showing kind of the hit or miss, spotty nature of these rains in through the rest of the day. Might even see a brightening of the sky before the day is through. That's how fickle this weather can be when there's this low pressure just offshore, giving us some showers, some clouds, and maybe a spot of sun. The irony is some of that sun may help spark off a late afternoon thunderstorm. So that's certainly possible too, especially as that heat gets going. Here's the spin off to our north and west, and then there's another system off to our east. So we're kind of in the middle here, stuck between the two rainy systems, giving us our clouds and showers for today. Tomorrow might have a few more breaks of sun with additional cloud cover. However, less of a chance of rain. And then as we head into Saturday, a cool and clear start, and temperatures are off to the races, 80s or better by Saturday afternoon, likely getting to 90 in some spots by Sunday with that continued clearing, and the heat keeps going on from there. So into next week, Monday is dry, Tuesday is also very warm, highs in the 90s with that clear sky and northwesterly wind. I think beyond that, the next chance for some rain is on Wednesday. Even still, it's a brief shower, and then by Friday of next week, looking to see maybe there's another system that comes in, hopefully clears out in time for Memorial Day weekend, because historically, Memorial Day weekend weather is not great around here. It always tends to be cool and cloudy. So if we can bottle up this weekend and kind of bring it into next, that'd be nice. But only time will tell, Ken.
Indeed, sir. Never a more truthful statement has been stated. Thank you very much. It is
You bet.
56 degrees northern New Jersey, 54 in Trenton. In terms of traffic, all we really have to tell you about is the Hudson River crossings, an absolute mess on Route 139, making your way from 78 into the Holland Tunnel. You could see those cars stop there. It's 40 minutes in right now. I think it's a little longer than that. They're telling us 40 minutes, I think, just to make us feel good. Over the Lincoln Tunnel, that's a much better bet, 25 to 30 in, making your way around the Helix. And the GWV approach 8095, upper and lower levels, upper on the right side of your screen, lower on the left. It is a little slow, but moving. It's only going to be about 20 to 25 minutes into Manhattan that way. It is 20 minutes past 8, and Manna Contemporary in Jersey City is a really cool art center. This Sunday from noon to 6, Manna's doors will be open for its Spring Open Studio Day. Artists, collectors, gallerists, a term I didn't even know. I had to look it up. Curators and anybody who just loves art will gather to explore and enjoy. It's going to be a chance to step inside the creative spaces of more than 100 working artists. Kristen J. DeAngelis is the Senior Director of Strategies and Operations at Manna Contemporary. Good morning to you, Kristen. Good to have you on.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me this morning. I appreciate it, Ken.
100%. And what an absolute cool concept and cool place. Tell everybody all about Manna Contemporary.
Oh, there's so much to tell. And you did an awesome job about explaining so much. You made my job today a lot easier. So our chairman and founder, Moishe Manna, he founded Manna Contemporary back in, say, 2011, 2012, with the idea of building an artist community and then inviting the outside community into Manna Contemporary. So in our building, we have over 225 artists in our institutions here. And it's their home. They live here, they create here. And we have the opportunity to invite the community in every spring and fall for free. It's a great family day. We will have over 100 artists opening their doors, which is the most that I have experienced since coming here, working here since 2022. And they're ready to talk about art and to people and sell their art. They're just so excited. It's such a great, great day. So I invite people to come and explore. And it's really, like I said, it's about community. And that really is what Moishe Man is all about. He is about community and just enjoys having everyone come through. And we're all excited here. We're all excited to greet everyone.
It's rare that you have the exposition of an artist workspace, right? You have artists who do their
Correct.
work and then they go to a
Yes.
museum or a gallery and they hang their work and they present what they want. Because it's really, I guess some artists might feel it's invasive. You're coming into their creative
It is.
space,
It is. It's
right?
such precious
So
space, and they are they are so excited. They spend like weeks to clean up their studio to make it just so everyone can come in and experience. And they want to have people ask them about. They spend so much time wanting people to learn about them, and they'll happily sell their art and share their art. So we have a lot of people that come in and just kind of take a look around. And it's really funny because people, I've lived here for a long time, so they'll come up to me and they'll say, "Oh, I've just blocked off an hour to come." And I'm like, "Oh, really? What, an hour? You'll want to clear the rest of your day for this," because they get so engaged once they start talking to the artists and exploring our exhibitions. We probably have about 5 new exhibitions that we're really excited about. One is with the Pierogi Gallery that has over 300 artists represented, and 30 of which are Mana artists, so you can buy and start an art collection there. We have a preview for a fundraiser for the Monira Foundation and the Sharing Place. Like, so all the proceeds go there for art residencies and a local food bank. So again, everything is about community, really like joining together. We have live jazz on Sunday. We have some poetry reading performances. So a lot to explore, just so much to explore.
Yeah, I have a very good friend who's an artist in Los Angeles, and it's funny hearing just the brain and the way that artists think with their creative brains. I'm assuming that most artists are like this. They look at their work as their children. It's like their baby.
Oh, entirely. Yes.
And he's like, well, he agonizes over what to bring to a gallery because if it sells, he'll only sell it to a person who's not going to use it to flip to make $1 because that's his precious. It's fascinating. I'm like, don't you want to make a living? He's like, I don't care if I starve to death. These are this is my brain on paper. And it really is. It's hard for people who are not artists
It's
to
their
get it.
brain, it's their soul, it's their heart. They give so much into to things that they create. It's really incredible. I mean, just listening to their process is always I enjoy it all the time. So I really, really welcome people to come. It's free. It's open to everyone. It's a really great family event. So we have some limited parking. We're a 15-minute walk from the PATH station. It's really great. We have some shuttle buses from New York City. So if you go to an Instagram at Mana Contemporary, all the details, you get to see previews of the artists, the exhibitions. It's really an exciting day.
You have Andy Warhol silk screens there too. That's going to catch a lot of attention.
We have the largest.
I was just going to say, it's funny how you have 100 great local artists, but unfortunately, sometimes you need the name to draw people in. And then once people get in, they're like, oh, Andy Warhol, but look at that, right? I mean, I've gone to galleries where I think I'm going to go for something, and then you end up finding these other artists and you're just mesmerized.
Absolutely.
I didn't mean to step on you, but is that the case?
No. I'm so glad you brought that up. We do have the largest privately held collection. It's someone else's collection, but we actually just relayed out the exhibition, and so I think people are really going to enjoy it. So they're going to see it. But then that's right next door to that huge flat files gallery where you can flip through the art. Like, you can actually flip through art that you can purchase. So it's going to be an exciting day. But that's exactly what happens. You come for one thing and you stay for something else.
And you even have music there, performances happening throughout the day. So, and this is all free. I mean, you can't beat that. That's the best price ever.
You cannot beat that. All free. Again, it's all about
Fantastic.
community, inviting people in, making new friends. There's so many people that have made friends here. And it's just an overall, just a fantastic day about community at Mana Contemporary.
Fantastic. Tell everybody your website too, so people can get more info.
Absolutely. Thank you. So it's manacontemporary.com. On Instagram, it's at manacontemporary. I really, if you are an Instagram person, you're going to just see so much about the artists, their photos, the exhibitions. We have a few things still on a sneak peek, some fashion, some other things I can't talk about. So you have to come Sunday. And if you see me just from this, just say hi. I'll be running by in my heels, but definitely say hello. So we invite
I
you,
checked
Ken,
that.
too.
It's
So
yeah, no, yeah. I checked out your Instagram yesterday actually, and it's unbelievable how much art is there. And
thank
if you're
you.
into art,
I know. I work hard
even
to
if you're
get it all
not,
out there.
you did
Yeah.
great. Even if you're not into
Thank
art and you think it might be interesting, you're going to
you.
go down a rabbit hole on that site. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. Yes.
Manacontemporary.com. Spring Open Studio Day this Sunday, noon to 6, Mana
Yes.
Contemporary Art Center, Newark Avenue, Jersey City. Kristen J. DeAngelo, Senior Director of Strategies and Operations at Mana Contemporary. That's a great day. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you.
today.
Thank you
You
so
bet.
much. I really appreciate it. Hope to see everybody.
You bet. Thank you so much, Kristen. 828 right now, 56 degrees. When we come back, a major investment in healthcare education is coming to New Jersey. We'll tell you all about it. Back in 2. A very good morning. It is Thursday, May 14th, 2026, 55 degrees right now, 8:30. I'm Ken Rosato. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. It is officially graduation season. If you know a graduating student from Rider University, you could see them get their diploma live at onnj.com on New Jersey. You could see the Rider University graduate and doctoral ceremony live Saturday morning at 9:30. Then you could see the Rider University undergraduate ceremony later in the day. It's live Saturday at 2 p.m. Watch ONNJ on Roku or get the news on our local Now apps. And of course, you could always just catch us on our main platform, onnj.com. Today, rain. Spotty, though. Depends on where you are. Meteorologist Mike Favetta has a full Garden State forecast. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. I remember the keynote speakers are the best part of those, right? It's usually somebody famous. We had Spike Lee as our keynote
Oh,
speaker. Yeah, he was great. Well, going through this afternoon, you've got a little bit of wet weather, a little bit of rain that comes through already. Some of those showers coming down across eastern parts of Ocean and Monmouth County, and into the afternoon may run into some more of those clouds and sprinkles. It's not the heavy, steady rain that we've become accustomed to. In fact, it's just these light, spotty showers that linger into tomorrow. Low rain chances on Saturday, maybe a passing shower by Sunday, but early next week, it's really all about the heat and even some humidity that returns with some very warm weather. So we have 1, 2, 3 lows all in a row, providing our clouds and showers for today and tomorrow. And again, not a steady rain, just a few pop-up sprinkles with those clouds hanging low into tomorrow afternoon. By the end of the day tomorrow, we start to see some breaks of sun around sunset, and then it's all about the clearing that takes over for Saturday. Very warm weather returns even for Sunday, and Monday provides those highs that'll be in the 90s into the middle of next week. So big changes ahead on the forecast. Even the 7-day showing that warm up in the upper 60s today. By Saturday, likely upper 70s, near 80, and pushing 90 in some parts of the state by Sunday and Monday, likely getting there across most of New Jersey, even for Tuesday and Wednesday. So some summer-like weather ahead, even as the beach locations feel warmer, thanks to the shore points keeping that sea breeze away due to a southwesterly gusty wind early next weekend.
All right. Thank you so much, Mike. Appreciate it. 8:33 is our time. 58 degrees northern New Jersey, 54 in Trenton. It's 52 degrees in Cape May. A lot of incidents to tell you about, but unfortunately not a lot of camera shots for them. But we could let you know we have a crash now on I-80 with injuries. This is westbound on I-80, west of exit 37, which is Hibernia Avenue, Rockaway Township. 2 left lanes of the 4 lanes closed. Again, we don't have the camera shot. Wish we could show you. We have a disabled right now in the New Jersey Turnpike in a roadway northbound north of interchange 14, which is 1 and 9 in Newark. All lanes open. Vehicles off to the right shoulder, just causing a little brake check through there. Your approaches to the Hudson River right now, the Holland Tunnel, Route 139. This is from 78. Been a mess all morning, bumper to bumper, going to cost you 35 to 40 minutes, and still, even at this hour. Your approach to the Lincoln Tunnel, much better, 25 to 30 through the Helix. And right now, the GWB upper and lower levels. We take a look at the upper level on the right, lower on the left, much better. Only 20 to 25 into Manhattan at this hour. It is 8:34. A major investment in healthcare education is coming to New Jersey. County College of Morris is launching a new dental hygiene and dental assisting programs thanks to $1 million grant from Delta. Let me do that again. Thanks to $1 million grant from the Delta Dental of New Jersey Foundation. The programs will be part of CCM's new state-of-the-art Center for Health Professions. Paul DeMeo is the president and CEO of Delta Dental of New Jersey and Connecticut, and Anthony Iacono is the president of County College of Morris. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Ken. Appreciate being here.
What, last night when I was writing that line, I said, you're going to screw up right there because you're saying the dental. Why would you say the Delta Dental? It's because it's the Delta Dental Foundation. And by the way, open full disclosure, I have Delta Dental, just to let everybody know that. I've been using it for years. Just want to be out there, fully transparent. Paul, let's start with you. What made this the right time for Delta Dental to make such a major investment? That's a big investment, $1 million in dental education.
Yeah, and we're happy to do it, partner with Tony and his team. Well, the reality is the hygiene and assistant career path has really sort of gone underground for a while. After COVID, there was a big exodus from the professions that never really returned. So our providers, who we really appreciate the work they do, and our mission is to provide dental, oral health to as many people as we can. They couldn't get in to see the dentist because the hygienists and assistants weren't available. So we, back in 2024, as we recognized this through both our corporation and our foundation, decided to make significant investments in the careers of those two professions. And meeting with Tony as he was planning the healthcare center for his school, it really married the two of us together in terms of what our desire was to increase career paths for young folks, those coming out of high school, to make those careers well known, and to help the overall communities get access to oral health care. And Tony's and CCM's approach to it, which was dedicating a significant and beautiful facility, really was right up our alley. So we couldn't resist the opportunity to partner.
So Anthony, we'll bring you on now. $1 million grant is the largest grant that CCM has ever gotten, right, of its kind. So what does that mean for the College of Morris, County College of Morris, and its students? That must have been a huge influx. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, I got 100 things we could be doing with that right now.
Well, first of all, good morning, Ken and Paul. It means the world to us, quite frankly. It's a game changer. It is the single largest grant we have ever received. And in a nutshell, though, it lets us do what we really focus on, which is we build and run programs that are of great benefit to our students and the workforce simultaneously. So, as Paul said, it's identified that there are significant shortages in dental hygiene, dental assisting, and it's only with the support of industry like Delta Dental that we're able to address those shortages and build programs that are beneficial to our students. I'm a firm believer in a great education needs to lead to a small handful of things, one of which is a great career. But the fact is, we're a community college, and we can't do that alone. We don't have $1 billion endowment. We have a community wrapped around us. So when an organization and a leader like Paul DeMeo come forward to provide that support, that's the fuel to our engine. That's what allows our college to do its best work. And we are so honored and proud to have that support, to have the partnership, and that they join us in this life-changing work that we do.
So a lot of people, I think, don't realize that a dental hygienist is actually licensed just like a dentist. And in the state of New Jersey, this isn't true in all states, but in the state of New Jersey, they could actually operate independently of dentists, right?
In some manner, yes, not necessarily under the direct control of the dentist, but there is some ultimate control the dentist will have over hygienists and assistants.
Right. So it's one of those, but dental hygienists are extremely well trained, just so that people.
Absolutely. It's a really important function. It's a really important function, Ken, in the dental office. It's really the physician that sees most of the patients that come in, and will identify issues for the dentist, so that those issues can be treated.
Every issue I've ever had, our hygienist at my dental office has spotted way before. And then the dentist is going from room to room, but the hygienist is the one who identifies the issues and tells me that I need to use my night guard, and I never do. And that's a whole other issue. I'll have an appointment next week. So now there's still that growing demand for dental professionals. How big is the demand? I mean, are we talking hundreds are needed in the state, or thousands right now, Paul?
I think Tony could probably answer that as well, but I would say in the thousands, because of the exodus from the profession, and the growing need for oral health care, whether it's in private offices or in clinics. So yeah, it is really a critical need right now.
Absolutely.
And the shortage is exponential, and our ability to train and produce these individuals of great value, not just to the dentist in our area, but throughout the entire state of New Jersey. It's profound.
Absolutely. And it's so important as well. I would imagine that those students get the training with the same technology they'll be using in real world healthcare settings. So I'm assuming a lot of that money is going to be going to make sure that that is the case.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And again, full disclosure, I have a father-in-law who recently passed of oral cancer, but it was his hygienist and dentist who spotted something in his mouth and immediately sent him to the ER. Again, so for people who don't understand how important the training, good training is for good hygienists, that is what they don't just clean. I mean, yeah, they do a little teeth cleaning too, but they need to know about the inner workings of your mouth very, very intricately. And that's why it's so important that they're trained properly.
Yeah, I mean, there are dozens. It's a good point, Ken. There are dozens of conditions that the dentist can diagnose, from diabetes to osteoporosis to cancer, that get revealed through oral exams. So it's really important that, and you do well to connect the overall health and oral health components together, because they are one and the same.
Even plaque, we know that it took years to figure it out, but plaque on our teeth could lead to plaques in our arteries in the heart. So this is why it's so essential to have a well-trained hygienist and dentist. And Delta Dental's foundation is celebrating 40 years. Congratulations. How does the project reflect the organization's larger mission?
Well, yeah, that's really good. That's a great question, Ken. They go hand in hand. Our mission as a corporation is to provide access to oral health care to as many people as possible. And the mission of the foundation supports that. We typically focus on 4 components, which are veterans, the elderly, children, and those with disabilities. Back in 2024, as we noted earlier, we took on the workforce initiative as well. So all of those things are designed to provide access. We've given well over $30 million in the last 40 years to various causes and organizations that promote and provide oral health care. I think about 6 million of that in the last 2 or so years, including the investment we made with CCM. So while we're 40 years old, we're just kind of getting started. We are really focusing on expanding our impact. And the philosophy we've undertaken, when the company does well, we're going to do good. So do well, do good is our mantra, and we can't wait, for the upcoming years to really increase the impact that we're going to have in our communities in both New Jersey and Connecticut.
Yeah, it's a great mantra too. And Anthony, just in our last minute, when the new facility opens in 2027, what are you hoping that students in the community will see when they walk through the doors?
They're going to see a incredible state-of-the-art facility that looks like the dentist offices that they will be working in. And the facility will also allow us to expand other medical programs. And of course, dentistry is a part of, as you identify, of your overall health. So they'll have a chance to work with other students training for a variety of medical professions. But they'll feel immersed in that profession from go.
Fantastic. All right, we're down to our last 10 seconds. I need the websites for both the Delta Dental Foundation and also for the CCM. So let's start with Paul. What's your website over there?
Ours is ddnj.com or Delta Dental Covers Me. Go to either one. You could get to the foundation from there.
Beautiful. And then also, Anthony, what's the website for CCM?
Ours is www.ccm.edu, and just as you can with Delta Dental, you can find our foundation there as well. And again, without organizations like Delta Dental, we're limited in what we can do, but we keep in our focus all the time. We're not the end point. We're the middle point. The careers, the employers, they're the end point. That's what the students are really, really aspiring to. And these partnerships make all the difference in the world. So you ask, what's it like for students? Without Delta Dental, it'd be a whole different environment. In fact, it might not even exist at all. So we are truly grateful for their support.
Thankfully, we got you all represented here, and thanks to both of you for creating the ability for an endpoint. Paul DeMeo, President and CEO of Delta Dental of New Jersey and Connecticut. Anthony Iacono, President of County College of Morris. Thank you both so much for coming on this morning. Keep smiling. Keep smiling.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Thanks, Tony.
You both as well. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And we come back. More families face difficult decisions about long-term care, and some are raising concerns about the paperwork residents are asking to sign when entering nursing homes. Our friends at AARP New Jersey are going to be here to talk about it. We're coming back in 2. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, 847, meteorologist Mike Favetta with the Garden State Forecast. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Ken. We've got a little bit of wet weather on the way for today, but most of the rain has already fallen for the day. There will be another couple of clouds that return through this afternoon. Unlikely that they bring some heavier showers, so we're still in that 1 to 2 inch rainfall deficit across most of the state. The area is shaded in red. That translates to that drier area of drought. So earlier in the week, we had the moderate drought extending to central New Jersey. Now the severe drought in dark orange here goes all the way up right to 195. So the southern half of New Jersey technically currently in a severe drought, the rest of the state moderately dry. And again, this probably worsens over the next few weeks as the hot, dry weather takes over, especially beginning on Saturday. So for this afternoon, you can plan on maybe a passing shower or sprinkle, nothing more than a ½ inch of rain at best. The longer range trend keeps somewhat moderately dry conditions around, not expecting some heavy rains for the rest of the month, and hotter than average conditions right through the end of May, with that bullseye there in the center of the country. So for the next few days, anticipate the warming trend to take us to near 90 as soon as Sunday. Early next week, easily in the 90s across many locations. And then by Wednesday, I think we see a cool down into the end of next week. So the air conditioner is certainly getting a workout, even at the beach locations. The shore points, Ken, also expected to get into the upper 70s and low 80s. But a quick tidbit, the water temperatures in the ocean still at 50 degrees. So very chilly.
Yeah, that's not exactly what you want to go in a bikini with, but nonetheless, just keep thinking. The end of August, it'll be way up to 72.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
cold, but it's a lot better than 50. All right, Mike, thank you very much, sir. It is, have a good day. It is 8:49 right now, and our temperature is 61 degrees northern New Jersey. It is 54 in Trenton, 57 degrees now in Vineland, 55 in Cape May. And now, a message from our friends at AARP New Jersey. As more families face difficult decisions about long-term care, advocates are raising concerns about the paperwork that many residents are asked to sign when entering nursing homes, often during stressful or medically vulnerable moments. Gail Smith has lived through that experience herself, and now she's speaking out to help protect other residents and push for stronger consumer safeguards in nursing home admission agreements. Joining us now again, Gail Smith, nursing home resident and advocate. We say good morning and welcome to you, Gail.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you on. And I speak now with a mother who's 87, a father who's 95. And we've had them both in nursing home rehabs, but within the nursing home environment several times in the last year and a half. And I've seen the environment and I've heard the stories now from people there at the various nursing homes. First, let's ask, how long have you been in a nursing home? And tell us about the experience when you had to come in and sign the paperwork.
I've been in 2 nursing homes for 5 years now. The paperwork is ominous. It's very long and difficult to read through. Unfortunately, at the first nursing home, they didn't have me sign the agreement until I was sick and heading for the hospital. I was delirious and didn't know my own name. My signature looked like a tumbleweed, and I didn't remember signing it at all.
And that paperwork, you sign away a lot of rights in that paperwork, don't you?
Well, you get rights too. It's hard to describe everything that's in a contract, but you have to be careful that they don't force you to sign an arbitration agreement, for example. It was offered to me at one place, and I didn't understand the difference between a trial in court and an arbitration hearing. I found out later that they tend to favor the corporations, and there's no appeal process with that. So that's not exactly what you want if you're having a severe problem with your nursing home.
Right. And just so that people know just the basics, and I'm not an attorney, but the basic concept is an arbitration is much less expensive than a court hearing because it's usually done, the arbitrator is usually a fellow lawyer, not a judge. And with an arbitrator or an arbitration, it's usually all or nothing. So if you go to an arbitration, they call it binding arbitration, it's usually all for one side or all for the other. Whereas court, you could be kind of awarded a partial judgment. So that's why I think corporations prefer that. It's less expensive, and it's harder to win 100% of anything. So that's obviously why I would assume they would want that. Now, you shared that you were asked to sign that admission paperwork when you were medicated. Did you talk to them later about that and say, you know, why when I was so medicated and not doing well mentally did you make me sign that?
I didn't ask them any questions, but I told them that it was not legal and warned them that they should not be doing that. I was a legal secretary, so I have a little bit of a background in law, and normally I would read the entire contract. People started saying, your contract, this, that. I said, I don't have a contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really unfair. And it's not like you were coming in with other people, I'm assuming, right? You didn't have relatives who were with you. This was all you.
Correct.
Wow. And when you look back later, were there things in those agreements that really concern you in retrospect that would have made you not sign?
No, I would have signed it anyway, but we didn't exactly know what to ask a facility when we went in. And now I have a lot of suggestions.
Mm-hmm.
First, you can contact the long-term care ombudsman about a contract. And I'm part of a group of New Jersey Nursing Home Residents United. And you can speak to residents who have lived through these experiences for years. I suggest taking a tour. They'll give you a tour, but they'll show you their best room that you might not necessarily be getting. So ask for a second room. Ask to taste the food. Don't just look at the menu, because what's in writing can look fancier than what is actually served.
Mm-hmm.
You also want to have roommate compatibility. It's very important. Are you used to a very quiet environment with no media, lights out, sleeping in the dark early, or do you like to stay up late?
Mm-hmm.
Are you a clean person or more relaxed? I would visit a facility more than once. I'd make a second trip that was unannounced. Maybe
Yeah.
go on the weekend when there's less staff and see what it's like and talk to the residents. You can ask to speak to the resident council. There's a vice president and president usually. Ask to see their meeting minutes for a couple of months. Look them over. See what people are complaining about or admiring about the facility. And then there's a federal list of residents' rights. It's 4 pages long. We have found that they don't offer all the rights. You have to know what they are and fight for them. Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that we've seen, and this is in my own family too, you go to different nursing homes, sometimes you see one nurse on the floor or two nurses on the floor, and there might be 20 residents. And if you need help or you need something, it's hard to get anybody to come. And yet these nursing homes charge an awful lot of money, whether you're paying out of pocket or you're paying via Medicaid or Medicare, et cetera. They're not cheap, as you can well attest, I'm sure. So how do you spot? Do you just ask the other residents, do you think there's enough care here? Because you might, like you said, you might be there on a Tuesday and you might see 5 people on the floor, and then on a Saturday you might see 1.
There's a report on the front desk, legally has to be there, that says how many residents a certified nurse assistant is taking care of for the day. Our state law says for the first shift, it has to be only 8 residents.
Mm, interesting. I did not know that at all. I said my relatives are in New York State, but I'm sure it's quite similar there. And if you could leave
Mhm.
any message for families who want to look around at different nursing homes before signing nursing home paperwork for themselves or a loved one, what advice would you give? Is there one piece of advice?
For me, I start with prayer. Um, God can lead you to the right place. And think about what you would like. You don't get to take a lot of possessions with you. You're going to
Mhm.
be probably sharing a room, but good things can happen there too. The activities departments vary from one to the other, but they can provide a good time, or you can make your own entertainment and fun, which I tend to do a lot.
Good for you. Well, I'm glad you're being such a great advocate, nursing home resident and advocate Gail Smith. Thank you for coming on this morning. God bless you, and I hope you nothing wish for you nothing but joy and good health there.
Thank you so much, Ken. It's good to see you.
Likewise. And that is on New Jersey mornings for your Thursday. We're going to have clouds today in New Jersey, maybe becoming a little rainy depending on where you are in the state. Temps in the low 60s. We'll see you again tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Thanks for watching.